5 things you need to know about living in Loudoun County. What's it like to live here? What's great about it? What's not so great about it? These are some of the questions that we get asked a lot, and people are usually looking for information about what it's like to live in Loudoun County, and in particular, Western Loudoun County. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The first one is the traffic and the commute. It's farther out from DC than your other suburbs. It doesn't mean that commuting into DC and into Arlington is not an option. In fact, when we first moved out here, my wife and I were both commuting into DC, or into Arlington rather, on a regular basis, meaning 5 days a week with 2 kids and daycare. Situations have changed. I'm not working at the Pentagon anymore, and she still is going into Arlington 3 times a week, but our situation has changed quite a bit. But I know that you can do it because we did it for over a year, both of us commuting into DC. It's not easy. There are a lot of challenges with that. It does take longer. It takes anywhere between 45 to 55 minutes, depending on which bus we rode the bus, depending on which bus that you get on to get you into the city. Plus, there's that additional 15 or 20 minutes that it takes to get to and from that bus stop. So no doubt it makes for a long commute. But the thing is, when you get home, here is home. So I look over my shoulder in that direction. That's the Blue Ridge Mountains, and the Appalachian Trail's just on the other side of that ridge. We have a beautiful area to call home out here with no traffic lights and no crowds and no city lights and no helicopters and none of those things that are regularly part of the scenery when it comes to living inside the city or inside the Beltway, certainly. That makes a difference, but it is a tough commute and it can be tough. Just getting to and from the store is a little bit of a challenge out here. It's not that it takes any more time to get to a store or to things that are convenient. It's just that it's a little bit longer of a distance. Living in Fairfax for almost 10 years, it took 20 minutes to get to the grocery store. But the grocery store was like 4 or 5 miles away. Here, it still takes 20 minutes to get to the grocery store. It's just now 15 miles away. So the travel distance is a little bit more important out here, but the travel time is about the same. When it comes to getting in and around Loudoun County, it does take longer to get into town from certain spots in Western Loudoun. And by town, it just depends on what you're looking for. Leesburg pretty much has everything that you would need, with a few exceptions. And what they don't have, Frederick, Maryland has. Where we are here in Waterford, we're about 30 minutes from downtown Frederick, Maryland, which, if you don't know, is the second largest city in the state of Maryland, behind Baltimore. So there's a lot of stuff available within that realm. Leesburg is about 20 minutes away, and it, again, has just about everything you need. And Percival is in the other direction, which is only about 15 minutes away. And they're really growing, and a lot of really nice things and nice places are coming in and around both Leesburg and Percival. Number 2 is the weather. There's a big difference between the weather in Western Loudoun County and the weather in DC. The DC weather is the one that's reported on because that's where the news stations are and that's where more people live. It's understandable. So in the wintertime, you get a lot of the forecasts that come up are, rain in the city and snow points north and west of the city. Well, Loudoun County is north and west of the city, and that's who they're talking about. There can be a 5 to 10 degree temperature difference in Loudoun County as opposed to inside DC or inside the Beltway. What that means in the winter is that while it's raining in DC and everything's fine and nobody knows what's going on, you start to make your way home that evening and you come home to 3 inches of snow on your car. Or you come home to 5 inches of snow or 7 inches of snow. Or overnight, DC got rain, you got 7 inches of snow, you're not going anywhere just yet, so that can create a problem for getting into work. In the summertime, the daytime highs are about the same. It's awfully hot, and even right now in March, it just feels like the sun is right here. And it does have a little bit to do with the elevation, but really the main thing is at night. In the summertime, in the warmer months, it gets quite cool, and it can be, I need a jacket cool. Whereas on 4th of July inside the city, you're sweating bullets and you just can't cool off. Out here where we watch the fireworks from different towns and areas that we can see up the valley, you're typically sitting out here in a sweatshirt and a blanket So because it's that cool, that again, 5 to 10 degree temperature difference can mean the difference between a 75-degree evening and a 65-degree evening. And you add a little bit of a breeze in there that might feel fantastic, but it's definitely going to be significantly cooler. But the weather is definitely different than what they report on in DC. Number 3, everything is bigger out here. Everything. Houses are bigger. Families are bigger. Lots are bigger. Animals are bigger. Everything seems to be bigger out here. Now that's a good thing when it comes to the real estate, because your price per square foot and the size of the lot that you get for the same amount of money you'd spend in the Beltway is a significant difference. Whereas in the Beltway, for $600,000, you're looking at a 2,000, maybe a 3,000 square foot house, depending on where you are, on less than a quarter acre. And it may or may not be in the greatest of shape, probably 30 years old. Out here, that same $600,000 can get you a 4,000 square foot house on 3 acres, and it's probably less than 10 years old. So there's a big difference in what that means for the real estate world. But it also means that there's a big difference between everything else. There's a lot of farmers out here, and a lot of people live on micro farms or hobby farms, or operate real, legitimate, big farms. So it's not uncommon to have to share the road with farming equipment, and large trucks and large vehicles, construction equipment. Not uncommon. Number 4 kind of has to do with that last one, where everything is bigger. It's also a rural life out here. Now that sounds terrible. Rural life out here in Loudoun County, because the high-speed internet is not everywhere. A lot of homes out here live or are down state-maintained gravel roads. Now the roads are fairly well maintained. They have seasons where it's not as in good a shape, heavy rains and heavy snows and things like that. But in general, they're very, very well maintained, and a lot of people live down these gravel roads. I'm up and down gravel roads all the time. And what that means is there's no high-speed internet. It also means that you don't have public water or sewer. You have septic and well. And this can be a bit of an intimidating factor for some folks who've never lived on a septic system or with well water. And personally, I like the well water better. It's not, not a lot of chemicals in it. It definitely has a strong smell straight out of the ground, but most of the houses out here have a water filtration system or a water treatment system that pulls a lot of that stuff out of there, and the water is very good. I like the taste of the water. I drink it straight out of the tap. I don't, not through the refrigerator filter. Most of the time, it's just straight out of the tap. I put it into an Nalgene, put it in the refrigerator, and that's what I drink. I alluded before about the animals that are bigger, but there are a lot of deer out here. A lot of deer. There are deer out here like there are squirrels in the city, or pigeons, really. There are deer out in herds all over, all times of the day and night, everywhere. There are dead deer on the side of the road a lot, because a lot of people have collisions with deer. It's just a fact of life out here. There are so many of them, and the food can be kind of tough in certain parts of the year, certain times of the year, that they're going to eat your shrubs and your flowers and things like that. Very, very difficult to grow ornamental flowers, trees, shrubs, that type of thing around the house, because the deer will eat them. We've even had deer on our porch trying to get a better angle at a bush that was just off the porch. So, I mean, wildlife can be extreme. There's a lot of things going on out here, but with all of that, by living off the grid, by living away from the city, by living down the road, if that's something that's appealing to you, then you'll really find Western Loudoun would be an ideal place. That's very different from what you find in Eastern Loudoun, in Ashburn and Sterling. It's closer to out here, but it's definitely not that rural feel that you have. And they have high-speed internet pretty much everywhere, and there's a store around every corner, and it's much more built up. Just as nice. It's a great place to live. But if you're looking to come away a little bit, then Western Loudoun's definitely the place for you. But understand that it can come with no high-speed internet. You may be on well and septic, and the wildlife is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge. Now, the last piece is what I'm going to call the quality of life. With all of the other challenges that we talked about well and septic, about wildlife, about propane, about the commute, about traffic, about things like that, with all of those things in mind, the quality of life out here is something special. And I say that from the perspective of a 6th-generation Virginian. My family's been here for 6 generations. My kids are actually 7th generation to live in Virginia. And to say that this is my absolute favorite spot in this entire Commonwealth, it's something you shouldn't take too lightly, because I really I have a tremendous fondness for all different parts and corners of this state that my family's been in for 150 years. But being able to come home and being able to sit out on the deck and have the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background and have a 3-acre lot around you, and it's just something special. The Loudoun County is very famous for horses and wine. It's starts the wine country of Virginia. It's like 42 wineries in the area. Lots of that going on. There are a lot of craft beer companies and craft beer breweries that are starting up. Lots of things happening in that area. There's something for the kids to do all over. There's Come Touch Me farms and parks and places where you can pick your own berries and do all kinds of fun stuff outside. The W&OD Trail. So if it's something that you just want to be a little bit farther away from big pockets of people, let's say highly populated areas, you can't beat living out here. It's just a really dynamic and fun place to live that is someplace that I'm proud to call home, and I'm proud to raise my family here in Loudoun County. So I kind of put that 5th one in there more of an endorsement as something that you need to know, but it's important to understand where I'm coming from when it comes to Loudoun County. It's not for everybody, but if it's something that you'd like to do, if you'd like to be able to live out here and be able to still work in Tyson's Corner, work inside the Beltway, or even work in DC, you can do it. And surprisingly enough, you'd be amazed at what you can afford. And that's from the size of the house to the size of the lot, and the things that go on out here, you'd be amazed. But there's lots to know, lots to see, lots to do. And if there's ever anything that you have questions about, hit us up in the comments below. And I would love to be able to do a video on a bunch of different topics. And you can follow me on Periscope, where I will be doing some Q&A sessions about what it's like to live out in Loudoun County in the coming months. So follow me on Twitter, follow me on Periscope, both at Forest Selby. That's FORESTSELBY. And I'd love to be able to answer any questions that you have. So if you got something, hit us up. Love to talk to you, and love to help show you around out here in beautiful Loudoun County. So once again, as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. In order to heat some of these houses.